Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to another training section. And I want to welcome you all. I know this is a very tough time for all of us, especially as Nigerians. And we may now have the opportunity to be live in this training. So that is why we've made a provision for those of us that can always make it live to be part of this training. So let's get straight to business. All right, so last time we talked about digital elements in education, which was the first training, and how to master them for professional use. And then we looked at some of the digital elements that we have, and we talked about audio, video, photo, and that was where we stopped the last time. So today we want to look at link, icon, text, and a host of other digital elements that we have. So let's start with link. So what is a link? A link is a type of digital element that is used to point to a particular location on the web or web content. So basically, if you are trying to get someone to a particular place online, you need a link, or you're trying to get people to access some web content, you need a link that will be the pointer, that will be the connector. So simply put, we can say anything that leads you or someone else to somewhere after you click on it is called link, right? So basically, we have four types of links. We have what we call internal links. So internal links are links that works on a website or on a web page. And when you click on that link, it takes you to another page still on the same website. So let's say you have let's say a Facebook, your Facebook account now. And then, we have different pages on the Facebook account. You can go to your timeline, which is your home, where you see the post of other people's amidst other things. And then you can also go to your profile, right? Your profile page. You can visit Facebook groups or other Facebook pages. So you are still inside the Facebook website, right? So all those places you are going, they are connected together using internal links, right? Then we also have what we call external links. So external links works in this fashion. They take you from one website to another. For example, you're on Facebook and then you saw a video or a link to a video on YouTube, and then you are persuaded to click on the link. When you click on the link, you move from Facebook to YouTube. So that is an external link. That link that you clicked on that made you move from Facebook to another platform, another website, which is YouTube, is called an external link, right? Then we also have what we call backlinks. So backlinks are the type of links that direct people or visitors from another web page to your own website or web page. So you can have like maybe a content on how to let's say the best teaching methodologies that we have, and then you have it on your website. It's an article on your website or somewhere. That's something you created. It could be a website, it could be a profile page, and then someone else is talking about um, teaching strategies, and then attach your own link to their own post on a website where you have your own link, and then people click on that link to get to your website. So we call them back links. Just a link that take people back to your website, something like that. Then we also have what we call shareable links. So shareable links are, we said links are what? Digital element that points to a particular location or the web or to a web content. So sometimes you want to share a web content, you share them using a link. It could be, we have a host of examples anyway. So we have like what we call Google Drive, which is a cloud-based platform. You can upload a file on Google Drive and then share the link with others, right? We also have what we call Dropbox, which is also a cloud-based platform. You can upload a document there, and then you can now send that link to people to have access to the web content. So we also have like blog posts, Facebook posts, TikTok videos link, YouTube link. So those are what shareable links. So there's actually a content somewhere that the link is pointing to. So we set the connection between two contents on the web is what we call link. So we can say simply links are the connection between two contents on the web. So we have two contents on the web, and then there's a connector between them. So that is what a link serves. So then I have a picture there that shows a URL. So a link, we can also term a link as a URL, which is simply means uniform resource locator. So uniform resource locator. So it helps you to locate a resource on the platform. So let's move on to link and hyperlink. So you must have had people talk about link and hyperlink and all of that. They like, okay, so what's the difference? Are they not the same? So some people use it synonymously, but they're quite different. So the main difference between a link and hyperlink is what you see, basically. What you see with a hyperlink is anchor text. For example, you can see this Facebook here. This is an anchor text, and then it carries an hyperlink. As you can see, it's showing the link, the hyperlink, which is the www.facebook.com, right? And then we said, meanwhile, a link shows you the address of the link page. You can see what the link is. This is facebook.com. You can see the link, right? But this one, you can't see the link until you hover on it with your mouse. So when you hover on it with your mouse, you can see it's bringing out the link www.facebook.com. So that is the simpler difference, or let me say the main difference between a link and a hyperlink, right? So both perform the same function anyway, but the difference is the way they appear. So you can see this shows the address of the website, while this shows a text, an anchor text that is carrying the address of the website, right? So that is that about link and then hyperlink. All right, let's talk about icon. So icon are image-like digital elements that represent anything on the web. It can represent a file, a program, web page, or command, and of course, a host of other things. Now, we have so many types of icons, but let's consider these few. We have what we call computer program icon, web page icons, file icons, and of course, command icons. So when we talk about computer program icons, we can talk about computer programs like Google Chrome, of course, Zoom app, Microsoft Office programs, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word, I beg your pardon, Microsoft PowerPoint, Excel, and we have also Google Doc, Google Sheets, Google Slides. Now, if you see those programs, they have icons. Just like if you go to a desktop, your desktop computer, if you have a laptop, you will see the icons. We have computer icon, we have recycle bin icon, we have the network icon, the control panel icon. We have a host of icons that are program related. Then we also have what we call web page icons. Web page icons are icons that you can find on a website. For example, like I have here this image on my left hand side where you have a house icon, which means if you click on it, you are going to the home page of the website. We also have the location, probably the location of where the business or the company or the organization is. Then we also have this email icon, which means if you click on it on a web page, you want to send an information or a message to the website owner. Then we have this one as looks the user icon. We have the share button icon. You want to make a call to the organization, you know that this is a call button icon. So all these icons are used on a web page. So that's why we call them web page icon. And then we also have what we call file icons. Now, file icons are the icons that is programmed to be attached with files created with their respective programs. What I mean is that, for example, if you go to the word processing program, Microsoft Word, and you create a document in the program, and then you save the document, automatically that file you save generates an icon, right? So you can see here on my top left corner here, you see different files icon. We have the one for Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, InDesign, Microsoft Office, or let's say word processing file icon, data processing file icon, the PDF, professional document for format, the code, the zip file, and others. So you can see that each file created on the digital space with a program has its own file icon, right? Okay, so let's talk about command icons. So command icons, or let me say command on the computer is the computer has programmed a function, and that the function is hidden behind an icon. For example, we have this folder icon. We have this one that looks like scissors, or let's say the scissors, which means to cut. That is, you want to cut a file or a program or a text or any digital element on the computer, you know that this stands for cut operation or command. Then we also have the print, as you can see, like the printer icon. You click on it, that means you want to what? You want to print. Then we have this one that is undo, redo, help, settings. So these are what we call command icon. So I wouldn't do justice to icon if I don't mention the likes of social media icons and emojis, right? So we also have what we call social media icons. You can see Facebook, Instagram, the Twitter, the WhatsApp, the Facebook Messenger, and Zoom and all of that, right? So we also have what we call emojis. So all the emojis that you see maybe on social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, messaging platforms like WhatsApp, messengers, and all of that. Those emojis you see can also be classified under icon. So I said you can have an icon for virtually anything that is computer related. For example, we have medical related icons like hospitals, you see like a hospital building and all of that. Then you can also have like business related icon like where you have the piggy vest or cash or whatever it is that is business related. So virtually anything on the web space, you can have an icon for it. So he said an icon is what represents an idea. An icon is a digital element that represents an idea or that represents a function or a command. So when you see it, you have a glimpse or you have an idea of what will happen if you click on this icon or what this icon is standing for or representing. So let's now move on and let's talk about text, which is another digital element. So text in a simple term is a digital, is a collection of letters and words that is readable and understandable by the reader, just like I am reading. What I am reading as the reader is a text. And we said the text can be edited. You can add to it, you can view it, just like I'm doing, you can modify or format it. Just like you can see this text here has a blue color and this text here has a black color, right? So that's formatting or modification. So you can do virtually all of these things on your text. So we said the text is what is just a collection of letters and words and which is modified, which is created to pass an information to the reader. So we have some terminologies that I want to introduce to you if you don't know them now until now. So you can now know them. Some of the terminologies are what we call typography. Now, typography simply means the style or appearance of a text. How does this text appear? So we have basically two types of typeface for text. We have what we call sans serif, and then we have what we call serif. Sans, which stands for the English meaning, which is without serif, and then serif. So when we talk about sans typeface, you can see some text. I don't think I have a serif typeface. So this typeface that are used, the typeface you're seeing for this is called sans. I mean, it's called sans serif or sans. So then we have another terminology we call font. So font is the size or weight a text carry. You can see the differences now. So typography is how a text appear, while the font attributes of a text in terms of size and weight and all of that. So we have different types of text. We have what we call the unimodal text, and then we have what we call the multimodal text. So the unimodal text are text created by programs, computer programs. For example, if I go to Word and I type definition of something, types of animals or beautiful places in the world, and that text I have created in Word processing document program is called a unimodal text, which means that that text is peculiar to that program, right? So that means that's what we call it uni. The mode is uni, that is one. That is, you create that text using one program, right? And then if you want to access that text again, you need to run it through that same program which you have created it with. So that's why we call it a unimodal text. So you can create a text in PowerPoint. You can create a text in Excel spreadsheet. So if you want to reopen that program, that file, you have to still use Excel spreadsheet to reopen it. Sometimes you might want to, transfer file from one program to another, although you have some complications. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but of course you encounter some complications along the way. But it's you won't have the same experience when you are opening that same text you have created with the original program that you use in creating the text. Then we also have what we call multimodal text. Now you see this multimodal text, it means that text that can function in different formats, right? When you create text to function in different formats, and then that means it is multimodal. And then we have different types of multimodal text. We have the ones in multimedia, we have the hypertext, and we also have the intertext. Now, the multimedia types of text are those texts are included in video. You see some videos, you see some text in the videos. You watch some videos, you see captions, right? You watch some videos, you see what we call subtitles. So those are what multimodal text. And then you see some audios too. You some audio, and then you see the text going, maybe some lyrics or what have you. So that is for audios. And then in images also, you see text on the image. So that's why we said text is a digital element that can easily blend with other digital elements, audios, videos, images, and host of others. And then we also have another type of multimodal text, which is the hypertext, right? So you are writing a text to serve another purpose, right? So that's why we have it called hypertext, a text written specifically for a website. I've shown you before what an hypertext means. So you have a text anchored, a website address anchored in a text. Then we also have what we call intertext. These are texts that generated in another digital platform. Like when you go to Facebook, you want to comment on someone's post. When you click on the comment box, automatically it has been programmed that that box, when you start typing, you start generating the text you are typing according to your to the specific command you are giving it through your keyboard, right? And then we also have post box. Like on the Facebook is asking you what is on your mind. That is a text box. So with that text box, you can use it to generate a text. That's what we call it. That text generated inside that post box or comment box is what we call intertext, right? So it's multimodal in the sense that you can use that text. You can use that text. That text can function in anywhere. It can be a blog post. It can be a social media post. It can be a comment post and the likes. So that is that about text. So let's move on to the next digital element, which is line. Now, we said a line is a digital element that is a graphical representation of a stroke or mark longer in width than height. So any digital element you see that it's a stroke or a mark that is longer in width compared to the what? To the height. It's longer, a line is longer in width compared to the height. So we have different types of lines, more than the ones you're seeing on my screen right now. We have straight lines, curve, wavy and bumpy lines, vertical lines. The straight lines, of course, can also be called horizontal lines. And then we have what we call diagonal lines, thick and thin lines, dotted and dashed lines, curly, zigzag, and so we have a whole lot. We have perpendicular lines, we have arrow lines, we have other types of lines that are not captured in this video. So you can see the different types of lines that we have that can be used to what? To create information that can be passed across to other people. So you can have lines. Lines also, just like text, can blend with other digital elements, which of course I'm going to be showing you sometimes again in another training. So how you can manipulate all these digital elements together. You can combine them just like someone who is making a soup. You can add this, add this, add this element, add this element, add this element, and you have a fantastic information or product or digital product. So that is line for you, straight, horizontal. Then we have straight, vertical. Then we have straight, diagonal. We have thick, thin, dotted, curve, wavy, bumpy, zigzag, curly, spiral, perpendicular, parallel, arrow, and a host of other types of lines that we have. So I said is what is a graphical representation. That is, it's a part of, it's also an image related digital element. So you create it, right? It's something that you create, images. We also have images. Like I said, I've talked about it before that we can have digitally created images. So we can say lines also are digitally created images. So let's talk about the next digital element, which are shapes. Now, we said shapes is a digital element that is a graphical representation of a jointed lines. So you have line and they're jointed, they are filled, and so we call them shapes. So jointed lines connecting together to form a shape. So we have forms and then we also have types of shapes. So basically we have two forms of shapes. We have the two-dimensional shapes and then we also have the three-dimensional shapes. So what differentiates these two forms of shapes is what you are seeing on my screen right now. So a shape is two-dimensional when you consider the height and the width, right? The height and the width. So, but a three-dimensional shape, you can see three angles. When you consider the angles, you can see that you can see more than two angles. You can see more than two widths, and then different heights and width of the shape. So those kind of shapes are what we call three-dimensional shapes. Then we have types of shapes. We have the geometric types of shapes, organic types of shapes, and abstract types of shapes. For example, we have the square, circle, triangle, and host of others, geometric. While organic types of shapes are shapes that, are natural, right? Like the rocks, the leaves, the flowers, water splash, and all of that. And then we also have the abstract types of shapes, which could be icons, symbols, or figures. So that's that about shapes. So shapes also are what are graphical created digital elements that they are graphical related. When you go to the graphics aspect of digital elements, so you create shapes graphically, you create lines graphically, you can also create images graphically. I hope you're seeing the interrelationship. So let's move on. The next digital element on the list is color. Now, what are colors or what is color? Color is the aspect of any object that may be described in terms of hue, lightness, and saturation. So, when you look at color as a digital element, you might say it's not substantial, it's not material, but you can't sideline the importance of color in the digital space. In fact, everything you see around the digital space carries color. And I said color is used to add aesthetic and meaning to other digital elements like image, videos, those visual appealing elements, the ones that you can see, most especially videos, images, icons, links. We also have the ones that we'll still be looking out for after color. So virtually all digital elements, you can apply color to them, right? So as you can see, we have a color wheel that shows the different types of color that we have, from the primary colors down to the secondary colors, down to the tertiary colors, down to the analogous colors, and finally the complementary colors. So I want you to study them and then see how all these colors, especially the secondary, tertiary, complementary colors, what they mean and how they are produced. So you can see from the color here where we have orange, it means the combination of what? Red and yellow. Then we have green, which is the combination of yellow and the blue, right? And then we have the purple, which is the combination of red and blue, which forms the secondary color. Now, when you get to the tertiary colors, you have red, violet, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, orange, and the host of others. So these are what? Combination of what? Primary colors and secondary colors. So we also have analogous color. We said these are colors next to each other on the color wheel, just like you can see. We have blue, green, we have green, we have yellow, green, yellow, as they are, they blend with each other. So that's why we call it what? The analogous colors. So we also have complementary colors. Green goes with red, blue goes with orange, and then yellow goes with purple. So that is color for you. So lastly, we want to look at, we want to give it a broader view of the remaining digital elements that we have on the digital space. And then we have 6 of them that I will quickly explain with some practicals and then show you what they do. Now, when we talk about table, it's another digital element on the web space that is used to categorize or to present data. Sometimes you want to present data. It could be data on the information you gather or your research you did, and then you want to present the data to some individuals, and then you need a table to do that, right? So a table, as you can see here, can be in different dimensions. For example, we have this table, as you can see here, which is a 2x3 table. That is, you can see the columns and the row. So this is what a 2x3 table. So you can decide to say, okay, the information I want to present it in a table. So how many rows will I be needing? How many columns will I be needing? So we can create a table using different programs, right? So it could be a word processing program, it could be a presentation software program, it could be Excel spreadsheet program. But of course, the most popular platform or program that you can use to create tables, or which comes with tables, is the Excel spreadsheet, or what we call the spreadsheet. So that's that about table. So let's go to frame. Now, when we talk about frame, we might look at it from the graphical point of view. For example, look at this red shape here. Now, this red shape, you can see it is framed, right? That is a graphical point of view to explain frame. Now, apart from that, we also have frames in terms of videos. Maybe not now. I'll make reference to it some other time when we come to how to create video digital element, how to manipulate it, how to edit it, and all of that. So I'll show you what exactly we can also refer to as frames. So when you have we said videos are what? Motion pictures, right? So if as the way I'm moving my hand like this. That is the video, right? But it's a picture in motion. That's why we call it motion picture. So all this like this like this, like this. That is 3 frames, right? When you combine frames, so we can say motion picture is what? Is a collection of frames, right? It's a collection of frames that when you combine all the frames together, and then it becomes a video, a moving picture. You can see, you are not seeing the frame, but you can see a complete collection of the frame. So that's another one, another explanation for frames. So when you say frame, is not necessarily the frame that you add to a picture or to a text or to a video or to other digital elements that you might have made mention of. But in another aspect, okay, in the digital space, when someone mentions frame to you, it should be, okay, could it be like graphical frames or the ones you have in motion pictures? So that is that about frame. So when we talk about grid, is another digital element that can only be explained with a picture. So you can have different elements inside a grid just to create a separation or to make it visually appealing. For example, see this image here that I have. I got it from the internet and it's a collage, right? It's a collage. It's also a frame, I mean a grid. So you can see this picture demarcated with white lines, isn't it? So you can see this format here. We have this format here that shows you different grid formats. We have the circle, we have the 2 rectangles, we have 4 squares, we have 1 square, we have 2 rectangles, we have 2 square, 2 circle, right? Then we also have 2 rectangles in horizontal positions. These ones are in vertical positions. And then we have 2 smaller triangles and 2 bigger triangles. I mean, rectangles, I beg your pardon, and others, as you can see. So these are what? Different grid format. This grid you are seeing here are 9 in numbers, right? 9 square grid. So I've already explained to you that we can have different grid formats depending on the choice of the user. Now, let's talk about equation. So when we talk about equation, equations are, mathematical representations, digital elements. I mean, they are digital elements that can be used for mathematical representation. For example, you can see this x in a square root, right? And then we have brackets outside of it. So that's a what? That's an equation. So you can create an equation in a word processing program software. You can also create an equation in a web space. You can create an equation on other let's say office softwares like maybe PowerPoint or presentation or spreadsheet and host of other programs. So equation are what mathematical representation that you want to use to pass an information across to your audience. So I want to show us how you can have an equation. So this is just a simple, let's say a simple demonstration. So you can have an equation inserted in what? In your document or your file and all of that. So I can say, let me say, for example, I can say 2x minus 4 plus 5 equals to 0. So this simple equation. We also have what we call complex equation, maybe where you want to use the division sign, like 9 divided by 5 minus 6 divided by 3. So this is another equation. So we can also have complex equation. Let me see if we have it here in PowerPoint. So yes, you can see here we have equation. So I can decide to insert any of this equation. We have area of a circle, binomial theorem, and all of that. So I can decide to say I want to use just x. Now, instead of me putting my equation like 9/5 minus 6/3, I can decide to say I want to use this. So I'm going to just take this away, and then I will say 9/5 minus copy this. Let's say minus 6/3. So this is what a simple equation created using this platform, right? So I can copy this. No. Okay. It's asking me to type my equation here. Okay, so I'll just equals to. Okay, so I can have my equal sign. So instead of displaying my equation like this, I can also use an equation element in whatever word processing program you are using. So you can use the equation element there to give a proper display of your equation, right? So as I was using the equation, if you are observant, you see we also have symbols, right? So we also have symbols, as you can see, equation and then symbols. So you can try to add symbols your um, to your document or your file, or it could be on the website, it could be a word processing document, or a presentation software, excuse me, like this. So you can have symbols like we have what we call the angle brackets, right? We have the slash or forward slash, we have the colon, we have the brackets, right? So all these are what? All these are symbols. So we can also combine symbols with text, right? So let me take it a bit further. So let's say, for example, I have this tag. So this here, this is a text. So this is a text, right? This is another text. Inside a symbol. This is also another symbol. This symbol, this is another symbol. So I'm already using color, right? Remember, we just talked about color. So these are combination of elements. You agree with me? So you can see this is a symbol. And then we have a text inside. Now, when you combine two elements together, it can give a different meaning. So in this case now, we have this now, it's a different meaning entirely. Combine symbols with text, and then it gives me a different meaning. So this is simply a line of code. This is simply a line of code. This symbol, this text, this another symbol is a tag. It's called HTML tag. And then you can see the whole of this is what is a line of HTML code. So this is just a practical show you that when you combine elements together, they give you a different meaning. So you want to achieve something on the digital space, okay, you want to combine this and this, you want to combine text and symbols together. And then when we even talk about equation, you can see we already have text, right? Equation is a combination of what? Combination of symbols and then figures, right? So when you now have a line of code, you can also have text and symbols. So that is what a practical, just to show you how combination of all these elements can be, and then how they can give you a different meaning. So the last one there is the chart. So you can see a chart just works in line with the table. Now, the chart collects the information or the data on the table and then presents that information in a graphical way, right? So you can see this chart here showing 4 categories of whatever it is, which is unknown to us: category 1, category 2, category 3, category 4. And in those categories, you have what we call series, which are what? Expressed in colors. We have series 1, which is like blue, series 2, which is like orange, and then series 3, which is like dark gray. So these are what this type of digital element gives you a graphical representation of an information that you have gathered or a processed data, right? So you process a data using a table, and then you want to represent that data graphically, and then you use a chart to do that. So that is that about digital elements. So we've exhausted all the digital elements that we have: the audio, the video, the photo or image, the link, the icon, the text, the line, the shapes, the color, the table, frame, symbols, equation, chart, and then of course the grid. So all of these digital elements, it's important that you get familiarized with them. That is the real essence or the major essence of the first training and then this one, to get you familiarized with all those digital elements and then move you from there to how to combine first, not combine, how to create each of these elements, which programs to use, which platforms to use, which formats. Of course, we've discussed about formats and forms and all of that. How to use which format is best for which reason. So after we must have learned how to create all these digital elements individually, then we'll now go through how to combine these digital elements together to give us more advanced digital use. So the ultimate goal will be to master all these digital elements, to master them for your professional use inside the classroom and then outside the classroom. So I'll see you again another time where we look at how to create individually these digital elements. So until then, if you have any questions on the digital elements that we've looked at, probably in the first video or the first training or this one, just drop it in the comment section or send it to me through the chat platform, and then we'll get your answer as soon as possible. So Thank you all for participating in this training. I hope to see you again very soon.